Indonesia and travel Indonesia and go to Bali, you would be able to enjoy your vacation much more because now you can speak the local language, right? So yeah, so those are some interesting facts about Bahasa, and now let's get started. In this lesson, you will first of all learn about formal and informal Bahasa. We will tell you what is formal Bahasa and what is informal Bahasa. And after that, we will learn some very basic grammar, and then we will learn some vocabulary, and also we will learn some sample sentences and create your very first sentences in Bahasa, so you can practice your Bahasa right away. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, let's start by explaining and telling you what is the difference between formal and informal Bahasa. So basically there are two types of Bahasa, formal and informal Bahasa. Formal Bahasa are Bahasa that is used for formal occasions. For example, business meeting, lecture, if you go to university in Indonesia or something like that, or if you meet a person for the very first time, you will usually need formal Bahasa, and you would usually use formal Bahasa. And then number two, we have informal Bahasa. This is a form of Bahasa that is usually used for like close friends or your family members or people or persons that you already know for a long time. And in these lessons and some future lessons, you will be introduced with formal Bahasa first, because you cannot go wrong usually with formal Bahasa, and usually you will use your Bahasa with people that you just know, right, to introduce yourself and stuff like that. And therefore it is much better if you know formal Bahasa first. But of course in the future you will learn informal Bahasa and talk more casually. So now let's just start this lesson by learning some grammar. As you know, grammar is the most important thing, very basic. It is important for you to understand very basic grammar of any language that you are learning. And today we will be learning subject pronouns. Okay, the subject pronoun of Bahasa, it is quite simple. Like number one is, how do you say I? I is saya. Okay, I is saya. So it is not very complicated. So saya, I. And then how do you say you? You is kamu. So ka and mu. So you have kamu. And then how do you say they? They is mereka. Okay, try to always say it after me. Okay, repeat after me so that you also learn how to say the word correctly. So again, how do you say they? They is mereka. Mereka. Now next, how do you say kami? Sorry, how do you say we? How do you say we? We is kami. Kami. Okay, how do you say she or he? Now this is something interesting, because in Bahasa, there is no she and there is no he. You just simply say the same word, which is dia. Again, dia. Okay, and then how do you say it or that? It is itu. Again, itu. So yeah, so those are the most basic grammar that you will learn today, and those are the subject pronouns in Bahasa. So now let's try to quiz yourself. So try not to look to the video if you are watching this on YouTube, or just simply test yourself. Okay, I will say the English subject pronouns and try to answer the question using the Bahasa version. Number one, how do you say I? 1, 2, 3. Saya. How do you say they? Mereka. How do you say she or he? 1, 2, 3. It's dia. Good. So try to repeat that over and over again until you master the subject pronouns in Bahasa. Okay? So yeah, after we have now learned about some grammar, now it's time for us to learn a little bit about vocabulary. So now let's learn about vocabulary or kosakata in Bahasa Indonesia. You do not need to memorize kosakata for now because it is a bit advanced. But for now, we will learn 4 basics verbs that you will use every day in your Bahasa, exercise. So how do you say eat? Eat is makan. 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 How do you say go? Go is pergi. So as you can see here, we pronounce the R quite clearly. So it is kind of like Spanish. If you guys speak Spanish out there, I think you will notice that Indonesian pronounce the R quite similar to the Spanish language. To the Spanish. So it's pergi. Again, pergi. And how do you say drink in Bahasa? It's minum. 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 And how do you say buy? Buy is membeli. Membeli. Okay, so again, try to repeat it over and over again until you master it and you can pronounce it comfortably. Now, before we move on, let's learn 2 useful expressions. I think learning expression is very important in your language learning, whatever language you are learning, because useful expression is something that you actually can use right away. So you can already say, you can just say it to anyone really when you just want to practice your language. We will learn 2 useful expressions. Number 1 is hello. It's quite similar. It's hello. Hello. Okay, hello. Hello. So the natural way of saying it would be hello. And then we have good morning. It is selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Pagi. Selamat pagi. So the natural speed would be selamat pagi. The slow speed would be selamat pagi. Okay, so again, try to practice it, as often as you can so you can master it, as I mentioned multiple times by now. Now, after you have learned a little bit about grammar and you have learned a little bit about vocabulary in Bahasa, it is time for us to create some sample sentences so that you know more and you can create your first sentence in Bahasa. So these are 4 sample sentences that you will learn today. Number 1 is hello, selamat pagi. That's the natural speed, and the slow speed would be hello, selamat pagi. Okay, I hope you already know what this phrase means. Hello is hello, of course, and selamat pagi is good morning. So, hello, selamat pagi is hello, good morning. Okay, and then number 2, you have saya pergi. Saya is I, and pergi is go. So, saya pergi is I go. And I will tell you a good news here. So, the good news here, at this point, you do not really need to conjugate the verb. Unlike English, when you say she goes, and then you say I go, you need to change the verb. You need to conjugate the verb go into goes if you change the subject from I to she or he or it, right? But fortunately in Bahasa, you do not need that. You just simply use the same verb for any subject pronoun. So for example, again, if you want to say I go, it is saya pergi. If you want to say she goes, it is dia pergi. You go, it is kamu pergi. They go, it is mereka pergi, and so on and so forth. So basically it stays the same. Number 3 is mereka makan. Mereka makan is, mereka is they, and then we have makan here, which is eat, and then mereka makan is they eat. The same again, if you want to say she eats, you can just say dia makan, and so on. And the last one is dia minum. Dia is she or he. Of course, when you just say dia, you do not know the gender of the person, so you do not know whether it is a she or it is a he, right? So it will need further elaboration, and it will need the context. I think the context will make it clear. But at this point, dia minum can both mean she drinks or he drinks. Okay. But again, if you want to change it into I drink, you can just say saya minum. So very simple. And by just knowing this simple rule, you can now already make many sentences and practice your bahasa, right? So if you have understood that, now let's test yourself. How do you say we go in bahasa? I will give you some time. We is kami, and go is pergi. So we go is kami pergi. And then you drink. And what about she eats? Okay, so if you know the answer of those two questions, go write down your answer to the comment sections, and we will check, and we will also correct if you are making a mistake. And it's fine to make a mistake. I made a lot of mistake when I learned English for the very first time, and I think now I'm still making mistake, and it's fine, really, right? So don't get discouraged if you still don't understand this lesson. Try to watch it over and over again if you are watching this on YouTube, or try to listen to it over and over again if you are listening to this through podcast. Okay, so that's it, the lesson for today. You can follow us on Instagram at Bahasa Little Project for additional lessons. You can practice your Bahasa and join our community on facebook.com/Bahasa Little Project. You can also find our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc. And you can support us on patreon.com/Bahasa Little Project to get exclusive contents. And by exclusive contents, I mean you will be able to receive PDFs, books on more vocabulary of Bahasa, more sample sentences, more conversation, and also you will join our exclusive Telegram group in which you will be meeting your tutor there. I think you will be meeting me there. And then you can practice your Bahasa and you can ask whatever question. So that's it for this lesson, and I will see you again in level 1 lesson 2. Bye. Dadah. Hey, welcome back to Bahasa Little Project, and this is your level 1 lesson 2. Last time we have learned about basic grammar, especially about subject pronouns, and also some basic verbs. And this time we will continue that lesson, and we will learn some more and create longer and more complex sentences. By the way, my name is Alit, and I'm your tutor for this Bahasa lessons, and let's get started. Okay, we will start our lesson today by learning the grammar first. We will learn adverb of time. How to say yesterday, how to say today, and how to say tomorrow. Okay, so let's start with yesterday. How do you say yesterday? It is kemarin. Okay, again, repeat after me so that you can pronounce the word correctly. Kemarin. Natural speed, kemarin. Kemarin. Okay, that's yesterday. Now today. Today is hari ini. Hari basically means day, and ini is this. So hari ini is actually day this, or today, this day, right? So again, today is hari ini. Hari ini. Okay, hari ini. And then we have tomorrow, which is besok. 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 Okay? Tomorrow, besok. Yesterday, kemarin. And today, hari ini. So try to repeat it over and over again until you are feeling comfortable saying it and you understand all of it. And if you already do that, and let's now answer this very important question. I think a lot of people are asking this question. Do we have tenses in Bahasa? The short answer is no, we don't have it. But the long and complicated answer would be maybe, but not at the basic level. So at this point, you do not need to worry about it. So basically, you want to think at this point again that we don't have tenses in Bahasa. Of course, we will discuss it in more detail in the future, so don't worry about it, okay? So as I mentioned previously, for now, just try to memorize what yesterday, today, and tomorrow are in Bahasa. Okay, now try to answer my question. I will say the English and you answer with the Bahasa without looking or watching your video if you are learning through YouTube right now. Okay, how do you say yesterday? 1, 2, 3. Kemarin, right? How do you say today? Hari ini. How do you say tomorrow? 1, 2, 3. Besok. Okay, good job. If you already mastered that, now we are ready to go on and continue with some vocabulary. So these are the words that we will learn. Quite a few actually. We will learn more verbs this time. So the first is cook or memasak in Bahasa. Memasak. Okay, cook is memasak. Study is belajar. Belajar. Okay, so cook, memasak, study, belajar. And then we have watch, menonton. Okay, again, cook, memasak, study, belajar, watch, menonton. And then we have listen, which is quite long, mendengarkan. You can hear the nasal sound there, deng, kind of sound like French. Mendengarkan. And then we have write, which is menulis. And then we have talk or berbicara. Berbicara. And then we have see, which is melihat. And then the last one we have bring, which is membawa. Okay, so try to make sure to repeat it over and over again until again you are comfortable saying the word, and try to quiz yourself and test yourself so that you can memorize it well. If you have mastered and memorized all those words, now it's time to learn some useful expression, which is how are you? I think this is very useful when you are meeting your friend, your new friend. In Indonesian, you can say apa kabar. Apa actually means what, and kabar means news. So what news? What news do you bring? Or in this case, it means how are you? Okay, and please don't mind if you hear some barking there. It's my neighbor. So, but going back, so how do you say how are you? It's apa kabar. Okay, apa kabar. That's how you say how are you. Apa kabar. So natural speed would be apa kabar. Apa kabar. Okay. So yeah. So now let's create sample sentences using the grammar and also the verbs and the expression that we have learned just now. So we will learn at this point, we will learn 3 sample sentences. Number 1 is kemarin saya memasak. Kemarin, do you still remember how do you say kemarin? Kemarin is yesterday, right? So that's how you say yesterday in Bahasa. It's kemarin. Okay, saya is, of course, you already know this. You already learned this from your first lesson, which is I, right? Memasak is cook. All right. So kemarin saya masak. In English, it means yesterday I cooked. You see here now again, as I mentioned previously, at the basic level, we don't have tenses in English. So the same thing. So if you want to say let's say I cook every day, it would be just saya masak setiap hari. You do not know what setiap hari means, but basically if you want to know, it means every day. So saya memasak stay the same, no changes, no conjugation, no nothing. So you just change the adverb of time. So kemarin saya masak mean yesterday I cook. Of course in English you need to put extra ed after the word cook, right? But in Indonesian you do not conjugate the word or the verb at all, so it stays the same. Kemarin saya masak, yesterday I cook, and tomorrow I will cook. You will need to put some word, which translate into will, and that is something that we will learn soon. But for now, make sure you understand what kemarin saya memasak means. Okay, so kemarin, yesterday, saya memasak, I cook. And again, to re-emphasize it, we don't have tenses at the basic level, so saya memasak stay the same whether it is in past, in the present, in the future. There are some changes. Number 2 is hari ini mereka makan. Hari ini is today, of course, right? Hari ini, and mereka is day, and makan is eat. So today they eat. Hari ini mereka makan. That's the natural speed. The slow speed would be hari ini mereka makan. Okay. Number 3 is dia akan menonton besok. Dia, you already notice it means she or he, right? So dia, she or he. Akan. Nah, this is something that I talked about just now. This is how you say will. Okay, this is how you say will in Bahasa. We will of course cover this in more detail, but for now just try to memorize that will is akan in Bahasa. Will is akan. Akan. So akan. So she will, dia akan. I will, saya akan. They will, mereka akan. You will,